Close your eyes. Focus. Listen to work getting done with Monday.com. Relax as AI does the manual work, while your teams are aligned on a single source of truth. Feel the sensation of an AI work platform, so flexible and intuitive, it feels like it was built just for you. Notice you're limitless. Now open your eyes, go to Monday.com, start for free, and finally, breathe.
Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Show for Season 18, Episode 2, titled Q-Pop Girl Groups. My name's Joe Batanz, and I'm joined, as always, by one daggy co-host from the podcast Breaking Down Bad Books. Please say...
Because you're the leftovers,
we're
doll.
not to Mr. Nathan Patrick Brown. Hello, Nathan.
Hi, Joe. Sorry, I lost my voice in the screaming challenge.
Oh, that's too bad because we have to end the show. And now, oh, you know what? That's too bad. Well, then you should go on voice rest.
Sashay away, Joe.
Yeah, sashay away. So I saw Nathan's face when I said daggy co-host. I don't really quite know what it means. I don't think it's good, but I went on Google and I said, what are adjectives that Australians use that aren't used in other countries?
Oh, and daggy was one?
Mm-hmm.
It just sort of means unfashionable, lame, not very trendy. Why are you looking like
Oh, interesting. Weird how I chose the right word.
Yeah, I mean, I can be daggy. Sometimes it's fun to be daggy, but you don't want to be called daggy.
I think daggy really is like the definition of me. So like, I'm not gonna like really, I can't claim like I'm Mr. Fashion. I think Christian would definitely weigh in there. Anyway, Nathan, how the hell are you? How's everything going? Everything going good?
Excellent. Thanks, Joe. How about you?
Yeah, I love how Nathan and I just had a 30-minute conversation over at Just Between Us Girls. And I will say, too, as I had a story that I never even told at Just Between Us Girls. No. We went for, I don't even know what we went for 30 minutes. I don't even know. I know part of it was Disneyland. At the end, everybody. At the end. But the first...
Before that, it was blowjobs. So pretty standard.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, mostly.
Oh, okay. So I guess I did tell stories and stuff like that, you know, but if you want to hear that, if you're on Patreon, you can hear all that over on the executive tier level and above. It's a whole extra 30 minutes of content that you get there. And, you know, any kind of special content might actually just go to executive tier because premium's getting a lot right now. They get the big takeaway, no commercials. They get this show early, no commercials, right? They don't get Just Between Us Girls, you know, but then they get the Burlesque thoughts with no commercials, you know, and early. They get it all. So they're getting a lot, big bang for their buck. I'm not saying it because Nathan and I are thinking about doing an impromptu episode of the Rumor Mill. Maybe, you know what I'll do? I'll do executive tier will get it first and above, and then premium will get it.
So we're going to do it then?
Not today. We are going to do it at some point.
I'm excited for it. I think it'll be great.
Yeah, I have a voicemail I need to play, but I realized that's actually because the voicemail was actually a question. The voicemail was a question.
Okay.
And it was a question for the hosts, including me. And so I guess that's really a Rulaska thoughts type thing.
All right.
So anyway. All right, then let's just jump right into the episode. This week, the girls divided up into 3 different teams for this season's Girl Group Challenge. On the runway, the category is your neck, your back, your pussy, and your crack. In the end, Jane Don't was named the winner of the challenge, while Mandy Mango, or as Lori called her, just Mango.
And I love that. Can we continue doing that?
And Didi Fuego were in the bottom 2, forcing them to face off in a lip sync battle for their lives. After all was said and done, Mandy Mango lived to see another day, while Didi se fue. You know what that means? So her name's Didi. Yeah, well, Didi Fuego, it's Fuego, right? But when you say she left, it's se fue, right? So I was going to play on her name, Didi se fue. You know?
Great job.
Thank you. Nathan, name 2 things you liked about the episode and 1 thing you did not.
Well, I really liked the runway category where you get to show off a featured body part. I know we did that in like season 4 or something.
Same
I remember
name?
Alaska showing off her collarbone. It wasn't pussy and crack related. But no, I just like that it gives the queens a chance to show a bit more of their personality. And it's fun to see who just wants to show off a body part and like who wants to be funny or is like actively trying to be different. So like it kept me a bit more engaged than some other runways.
Or who's like Kenya and decides not to do it at all?
Yes, I love everything. That was a cop out.
Yeah.
And I also really liked
Honestly,
this
it
Dove.
was giving Mystique Summers Madison her country realness when she just took whatever thing she found at, Forever 21 and wore that on the runway. And not even Forever 21, more like Lane Bryant,
Yeah.
and just wore that on the runway, said that was country girl realness. It was giving that. It was like, I just have this outfit. And this is my everything.
Yeah, so she felt that. But I like when other queens were like being very specific on the body part they showed. I just find that fun. And the other thing I liked was this Dove Cameron. I thought she was a good presence, and I quite liked her lip sync song. I was like, that's a good song. And I thought she was great. The one thing I didn't was the challenge songs themselves. I thought they were very average. Yeah. I don't want to ever hear them ever again. Like, I just thought they were poor form, because sometimes a drag race song can be really fucking good, and these were not good.
I never thought about this. What I will say, and I will give the David Steinberg, I think his name is something like that, right? A little bit of a pass, is I really think maybe this is the excuse I'm making up for him. Okay, the apology I'm making for him is that perhaps he was trying to give them a blank canvas with which they could work, and trying to kind of give them, because what I realized, okay, I watched it twice. I actually did watch this episode twice. And what I watched on a rewatch is he gives them in the chorus the big fucking low-hanging fruit hint of how to write their verse melodically.
Sure.
And so maybe he was trying to give them a blank canvas so that to see who could shine and who could not, rather than handing it to them.
I think that's the problem, though. Like, Michelle, I don't think should be the vocal coach for these songs, because she sort of just lets them run with whatever, and she doesn't give that much feedback.
Yeah.
And it's like, are we trying to just see who will rise to the challenge, or are we actually trying to get a good product? Yeah. Because I feel like when they do try and get a good product, like with the Bing Bang Bong on Drag Race UK, like everyone shines and it ends up being really good. And I don't think they wanted everyone to shine.
No, because I think on Bing Bang Bong, this is when they were in there. You can download it on iTunes era, and they wanted it to be a good song. So of course they're going to do that. This one, you're right. She's not, I wouldn't say set them up for failure, but she was not. I remember when I was a kid in high school, and I'm very emphasizing this. There's a reason I'm emphasizing this. And I was in theater, and the woman who was directing this play, I don't remember what play it was or anything, she just kept saying, "Joey, less is more." And I didn't know. I remember being like, so I don't know what that means. And I remember even asking her.
She was telling you to rein it in, mate.
I know, but no. But that's what I'm trying to say. Now I realize what I was trying to say. At 14 years old, I didn't know what the fuck that meant. And I remember saying to her, "What does that mean?" And she goes, "It means less is more." And I know there's this thing with directors where they're not supposed to show the actors how to do it. But I think specifically in film, it's seen as just this very taboo. You're not supposed to do that, right? But with a high school kid, you can do it.
You can direct them.
Yeah, you can direct them more. You can shape them more, right? And so I think this is the equivalent here. They're not singers. So like reality would have been like, look, what I'm trying to say is you guys have not come up with melodies, Why don't let's try and find what the melody, they have the guy who wrote the fucking song right there. Like, hey, David, what would be the melody you would sing here? Because honestly, on the second rewatch, because you can hear the melody in the verse, right? And it matches in the chorus, and it matches the cadence and the beat of the verse. So I remember with some of them, not all of them, you could sing their rap lyrics essentially for the disco one. You could sing it to the chorus, right?
Right.
And so she could have easily said, just, the chorus? Just sing your verse to the
it's the chorus. Yeah. But instead she was like, hey, Darlene, I don't think the pitch is right. And I was like, I don't think Darlene knows what pitch is.
You think
why are you using that terminology? Like, she doesn't know what you're talking about, Michelle.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I thought she was useless.
100%.
I was like, get Dove Cameron in. I mean, they probably filmed this on a Friday, and then the next show was on a Monday, so they couldn't get Dove in. But like, I don't know.
What the fuck
we need to
Dove
get
Cameron
someone
to
other
tell
than
stories
Michelle.
about Jessie?
Was she in? What's Jessie?
Is that the Disney show she was on?
Oh, maybe. But she is a good singer.
She was pretty hot. I wouldn't say like, you know what? If I was a guy, I'd be into her.
Yeah, she's cute.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you have a two things and a one thing?
No, I have 300 shows I talk about. No. So why don't we do this? Why don't we take a break, and when we come back, we're actually going to talk about the rest of the episode. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Big Deal brands are up to 25% off right now at Designer Shoe Warehouse. You're not going to want to miss this. These brands almost never go on sale. At DSW, we'll give you something to brag about. Like up to 25% off select styles from Adidas, Crocs, Nike, Reebok, and more brands you love. Find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. Save today at your DSW store or DSW.com. DSW, let us surprise you.
This episode is brought to you by Fandango. People say fans are too distracted these days, but the truth is, when a great movie hits the screen, you show up, you stay glued, invested, part of the story. And without fans like you, there'd be no cinema magic, no shared moments. So head to Fandango.com to get tickets, stream, or rent or buy top movies and series. Fandango loves fans.
And we are back.
Oh, yeah.
It repeated. I didn't know that was coming. And we are back. All right. After the non-elimination, the girls walk back into the workroom to decompress, debrief, and de-drag. The girls congratulate Vida and Nini on their placements. Jane gives her 2 cents on Nini's look, and Nini brushes those cents right off. All right, let's stop right here. Let's talk about everything that happened after the last episode. Any big notes you have here, Nathan, on that?
Not really. No, but when they were clocking Nini's bra straps, I was like, oh yeah, you can see the bra straps. I didn't really notice that much last week. I sort of just brushed that off. But then in the harsh light of the workroom, I was like, oh, maybe they have a point.
Yeah. I think.
And then the other.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, the other thing was just Mandy just says, oh, it can only go up from here. I can't wait for a performance challenge because I'm so good at performing. And I was like, bitch.
Yeah. Now, look, I write these notes as I go, right? So I don't. I called her Complain Jane, right? When she was bitching about Nini. But
yeah.
I did say, I go, what's wrong with her? You know, because first of all, even then when she showed, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess there are bra straps. But I will say they were well hidden. We did not see them. And you cannot deny the construction is amazing. And I wonder if Complain Jane was kind of wincing when she saw that Cardi B was like, I would wear this outfit.
Yeah. I think, is it just the difference in lighting on the main stage to the workroom? They're closer to it, but they're on a judge's panel further back, so they're not that bothered by the bra strap?
Yeah, and I think you get to see a more 360. You know, the camera can show what the camera wants to show. If they really wanted to highlight the bra step and make it be like womp womp womp. They can do it, right?
They could,
Yeah, but in this case they didn't, and I think it was done well enough where you didn't really see it. And it's she's being annoying. Any other thoughts?
No.
All right, now look. Then there's a moment where they're being really mean to Nini, and I was thinking about this because don't attack my don't be meanie to Nini is my slogan for season 18. Okay. And but there was a part of me that they're so good at being cunty to her that I kind of love it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So look, I think this cast is a very talented cast. It's a very good cast. It's a very strong cast. I'm still on the fence about how good of TV it makes, right? This cast. By it, I mean the cast. So any kind of hints of cracks and drama and being upset, I'm here for it. And so I'm kind of liking it.
Yeah.
And at the very end of this segment, someone says, I can't wait to see how this turns out. And I said this last season, I'm going to say it again. It's turned out. We can stop seeing how it's going to turn out. Let's retire this phrase.
Oh, the phrase.
I'm done with the phrase. We're done. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
That is my big thing there. All right, next, let's move on. It's a new day in the workroom, and the girls prepare for the day ahead. Around the table, the young queens tease the old queens about their age, just as RuPaul walks into the workroom to announce this week's Maxi Challenge. It's a girl group challenge. Working in 3 groups of girls must choreograph their own dances, see and write and record their own lyrics, and each girl group represents their own genre of music. Now, there's 3 groups. RuPaul lets them decide. Let me see. So what does it have here? The genres of music are this. There's one, it's disco, and that song is called Funk Almighty, and it's inspired by the work of Sylvester. Okay, the disco icon trans woman, Sylvester. 2 is a pop song, Go Go Go. It's a high energy bop inspired by Wham. You would think they think of a better. I mean, I guess they want you to think of Wham, but it's like. Yeah. And then finally the punk, it's called Cherries. And it's a banger inspired by the all-female punk group, The Runaways. I think it's an homage to the song Cherry Bomb. And I think Funk Almighty is probably supposed to be an homage to Mighty Real, the Sylvester song.
So what's the Wham one?
Are you being funny?
No.
Wake me up before you go. Wake me up. Before you go.
I didn't get that at all from the song.
I know, but that's what the pun is supposed to be,
Right, okay.
Yeah. Cherries is not anything like Cherry Bomb. And actually, Funk Almighty, apart from the instrumentation, isn't like Mighty Real.
So it's just the words. It wasn't actually lyrically, musically similar.
Yeah. You know what's so funny is this, this Mighty Real song?
Mm-hmm.
I'm only 24 years old, but it wasn't until last year that I realized. Sylvester was singing about that whoever she's fucking makes her feel like a real woman, like not a trans woman, like a real woman. You make me feel mighty. No, I'm doing it because I can't play the song legally. Yeah.
That makes sense. I feel like I kind of already knew that, but that makes sense.
I was listening to the words and I was like, working out or doing whatever. Like, oh, wait a minute. She's a trans girl singing this. She's talking about that. And I go, oh.
You get on X and you're like, hey, everyone, I just made a discovery.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Did you guys
this?
ever figure out that this trans woman in the 70s was singing about feeling like a real woman? Anyway, those are the things. Okay, then this RuPaul tells Nini and Vida as the top 2, they get to choose their teams, and they broke down the teams as follows. Let me tell you because here's how there's 3 teams, and this is how it's going to work. Nini gets to choose somebody, Vida gets to choose somebody, and then whoever's left over, that's their own team. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's how they chose. So Nina chose, and let's actually kind of discuss this because I think this is important. Believe it or not. The first person she chooses is Mia Starr. Okay, which makes total fucking sense, and that is this Nini Coco is a genius, and she's very smart, and she's like, I'm gonna have the fucking bitch who was in music videos and played with Rihanna and shit like that choreographed this
No
thing.
brainer.
Boom, no brainer. Chooses Mia Starr. Vida's first choice and is Briar Blush. Now let's stop and talk about this. Now she does explain it, and she says it's because Briar runs different shows or something like that, so she could wrangle the girls together.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people, I don't know if it's a lot, but there are a number of people who are not watching the show, Nathan. They're listening to our show to find out what's going on. So let me give you let me tell you ahead what's going on. Is Athena Love Dion, who is clearly like a front runner so far, doesn't get chosen. She's in the leftover group. And this is a building tension as they're picking people. But as I'm looking at it, I'm like, why? For the same reason she chose Briar Blush, why the fuck wouldn't she choose Athena Love Dion?
Okay, well, I actually have really come around on Briar Brush after this episode. I thought she was really good. Like she
I'm
could
not
have
saying
won.
she wasn't. I'm talking about choosing this team.
Yeah, but so if Vida sees that potential, I get it.
Okay.
The thing with Athena, I mean, Nini says it's because she's not a team player.
That's Nini.
And from everything but maybe that's evident for a lot of people there. Maybe Vida senses that as well, because I don't think she is a team player.
No, she's not.
And I mean, her daughter couldn't sew last week, and she just turned a blind eye, which we stood by her, like that was the right decision. But that gives off not team player energy, right? And then I think also, do you really want the front runner in your group? Do you want to be compared to the front runner when you're performing? Like, I would not want the front runner in my group. I would want to stand out more.
I would think I would want the person who is going to do well. I don't know what based on one episode performing with them, that may have a different insight than what we've seen. I don't see what they would have seen in Briar Blush. But I'll give you that one. That's the first one. Sure, whatever. She ran girl groups. The next one that Nini picks, Sierra Mist.
That was confusing to me.
But right after the elimination, though, Sierra Mist and Nini seem to be good Judies. Because Sierra does go up to her and she's like, is that bothering you or whatever? So maybe it's because she's a good Judy.
So they're friends?
Okay, they're friends. Okay.
You can excuse that.
Vida chooses Juicy Love Dion. I get it. Great
Makes
dancer.
sense to me.
Makes sense. Good choice. In fact,
I would have probably chosen her over Briar.
Well, what's funny is why, maybe because she's not a good Judy, Nini should have chosen her because she's a good dancer and it would have worked well with Mia Starr. But whatever. That's fine.
Well, you've already got Mia Starr, so you've already got the choreographer. She didn't need Juicy.
Then we go back to this Nini, and then she chooses Mikey Meeks.
Yeah, well, I at this point, it's personal against Athena.
Okay. Then this Vida chooses Discord Adams?
Yeah. Well, if Discord's in the workroom saying I play guitar, I write for bands, that makes sense.
But they didn't know they wanted to do punk. Because spoiler alert, I don't believe this fucking Vida Vonti star that she always wanted
Of
punk.
course
Now,
not.
okay.
Vida Minge.
Then Nini goes and she chooses Kenya Pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
For a girl group challenge, it makes sense. Kenya and Jane are bigger girls, so it makes sense they were chosen last. But what's funny is you're like, oh, well, they must know something because they saw him perform. That's why she chose Briar Blush. Jane's the strongest one in the group, and they chose her last.
Yeah, I think it probably does come down to who do you want to work with rather than who's going to be that good.
But what did Athena show to them in the last episode that she's difficult?
Well, she got in a fight with Briar Brush because she wouldn't make her gloves, so she withheld material from her.
So that makes me think that Briar was probably right, and the girls knew it.
That's what I'm thinking now too. I'm thinking Athena's a bit of a brat.
Yeah, it could be. You know what this does do, because it confirms that that the girls side with Briar on this one.
Yeah. I think Athena pulled the wool over my eyes.
Yeah. So the leftovers are Didi Fuego, which makes sense, right? Because
for sure.
Right. Darlene Mitchell, which there's a lot of love for her on Reddit, but I just think that comes down to Reddit's collective racism. of just liking anybody that's white, and conventionally like basic ass white guy attractive. And then Mandy Mango, horrible, right?
Yeah, see, that makes sense from the placement last week.
Yeah.
You'd think, that's why also you'd think Kenya would be left.
No, but I think the girls knew that it wasn't really Kenya's fault,
Okay.
And then Athena, which the Athena one just makes no sense.
But
should have
maybe it
been
does.
Sierra Mist in that leftovers thing, in my personal opinion. Anyway, so that's how they choose the team. Back in the workroom, the girls listen to the song. And by the way, this Athena is pressed that she didn't get chosen.
Sure is.
She is upset. It's the running sort of like, it's like a hanging tension over the entire rest of the episode.
Uh-huh.
All right, back in the workroom, the girls listen to the songs and then perform the traditional battle of the bands, for which songs each team will perform. Athena and Vida go head to head for the disco number, but in the end, Vida concedes and takes the punk song, and Athena gets her disco number. Later, the girls gather together in their individual groups. Vida confesses she never wanted disco anyway, but was trying to get under Athena's skin. Jane helps her team with their lyrics. Nini struggled with her voice. Meanwhile, no one can ignore the pressed look on Athena's face. All right, let's stop right there. Okay, let's talk first about everything that happens the next day. I'm talking about they're around the table waiting for RuPaul for the not you got she-mail, but whatever it is now. She already done have hers is, right?
Yeah.
And it's such a throwaway moment, but I think it's really important in this episode, and we're going to cover why and bring it up and all this stuff. Once again, the few young ones that are start coming for the old queens. It's like a really big thing this episode that they're, by the way, Nathan, I don't hate to put you on the spot, but how old are you, Nathan?
35.
Oh, so you're in the middle there. But like, I looked up their ages. Well, first of all, I think Athena and Vida are lying a little bit about their ages. But according to Wikipedia, they're 38, right?
Yes. I saw that too.
I think there's a 4 in front of that number, but okay. I don't think 48, but I think 42, 43, maybe 41.
I agree with your suspicions, because that would mean like Athena was born in 1987. And yet here she is being like, it's disco. I grew up with disco. And I'm like, Mama,
no.
If you were born in 1987, you grew up with Spice Girls.
97
like, what are you
wouldn't be
talking
38.
about? 87.
87, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So it's like, come on, 87. That's disco was dead by then, doll.
Yeah.
So like, is she lying, or is she feeding
my friend Jonathan was born in 83, and she looks closer to Jonathan. I think it's.
So you think she's early 40s?
I think she's early 40s, and I think the same thing with Vida. Right? It has to do with just how she carries herself, how far she's come in her drag career. Like,
she's a grandmother.
Like, there's a lot of things yeah. Anyway, but the point is that, like, I think one of the things, and I think the reason people are having a strong positive feelings for this show is because there are seasoned queens. And like I've said before, it has nothing really to do with age. Even Juicy Love Dion, Nini, Coco, you can tell they have experience. And another great example was Aquaria. When Aquaria was on in season 10, yeah, she was like 20-nothing, but she had years and years of experience under her belt of doing drag. So it really has to do with experience. And I think a more experienced seasoned cast makes for a really great cast. And I don't know why this show seems to play into the, and I know that it's funny. They're saying they're doing it out of love, but this is where I talked about this on the big takeaway.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's a big part of who got chosen.
They're not reading the room, these younger queens, because we've all sort of said like, oh, thank God, a season of seasoned queens. Like, this is so refreshing. And then like Mikey Meeks will make a comment, or Jane will make a comment being like, oh, is this what you listen to in the Depression? Like, ha ha ha, geriatric. And it's like, you guys, do you realize you've got the wrong take here?
Yeah, it's really,
you're in the minority and no one's on your side.
No, it's very, very strange. And But I do think when you look at the leftovers, Mandy Mango is the only one not in her 30s. I think she's like 29. And I think she's there because she sucks. But the other one, like Athena, it says she's 38. Dee Dee,
She says.
look, these are the leftovers. Athena's 38.
Yeah.
Dee Dee is 37. Darlene is 34. Okay. Mia is 29. Okay. Mia, who the fuck is Mia? Oh, Mia Star. Oh, so Mia Star was
one we
picked
keep
first.
forgetting
She
about.
is 39, but she has the choreographer skills. So she gets the pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vida is 38, but she was one of the people choosing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the last person chosen is Jane Don't, and I think she's like 32 or 33. So for the most part, they went young first. And the leftovers, for the most part, except for sucky ass Mandy Mango, are in their 30s. Well in their 30s. And so I really do think a lot of the reason they were left over was age.
Even though it was Vida doing the picking.
Yeah, but let's see who she goes with, right? She goes with, I have it right here, how she goes. Vida chooses Briar Blush, young. Juicy Love
Young.
Dion, young.
Very
Discord,
young,
I think she's in her early. But this is, Jane and Discord are in their 30s, but they're the last two she picks.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know how old Kenya is. She could be, Kenya's one of the people who could be 50 or 22, and I don't know. She's somewhere in between.
Yeah. I don't particularly, I'm not convinced that it's to do with age, how this was picked. But I do agree that there is some weird thing. There's a weird thing going on with like ageism here.
Yeah.
Where they like are acting like someone in their 30s is fucking, geriatric, like they said. Like there's some very weird attitudes, but I don't know if it is exactly the driver behind picking queens for this challenge.
So, okay, it's fine. Now let's go to the work. So, like I said before, so then RuPaul comes down the stairs. There's no mini challenge. She introduces the maxi challenge. She talks about the rules, how it's going to work. You guys know how it's going to work if you're listening. And then she has them choose teams. We just discussed that in detail. Then they go into the workroom. Then they go to the couch. They're listening to the music. They all like the disco song. They all like the pop song. No one watched the punk song except for Discord Adams. And then they're all fighting, and there's like, well, right now at this stage, we'll say there's Team Nini, there's the leftovers, and there's Team Vida. Everybody wants a disco song. And then at a certain point, Team Nini's like, we'll take the pop song. And then everyone gets mad at them. They're like, no!
Yeah.
You would know. Because then that means whoever's left has to take the punk song, right? So finally, now, by the way, because this is going to be important to the discussion we just have, leading the charge on the leftovers is Athena. She's the one really fighting for that disco song.
Yes.
And
do you think she's just trying to make a point?
No, I think she was like, she wants that song because she already knows it's weak people, so she wants in her brain the strongest song. Okay.
But I think like she was like, oh, we know Rue loves disco, so we want disco. And it's like, yeah, but Rue has super high expectations for disco. We've seen that before.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
I always felt like this disco song was a trap and Rue was never going to be satisfied.
Yeah. No, I think if you would have sang, it would have been fine. They just didn't sing. It was I had in my notes, I was like, why are they like sing talking to the one song where you would have the most melody? And so then Vida is speaking for Team Vida, and she and Athena. Now, here's what's weird. And I was trying to really figure this out. Is the rumor is that Vida and Athena develop a showmance.
Yeah, I don't see that at this point.
Yeah, I don't see how that happens because it's pretty intense. And Vida is like almost like eyes bulging out, enraged, ready to fucking throw down for this disco.
Yeah, and she's the one I think that coins you're called the leftovers because you're the fucking leftovers. And it's like, that's savage.
Favorite moment. In fact, I mean, Nathan, you would know that was the clip 0. It's fantastic because I'm like, yes, this is the cuntiness that we're looking for in the show. I loved it. In fact, they use it as a break point. She says it and they go to break, right? And then they repeat it when they come back from the break. That is the line of the episode. Because you're the leftovers, honey, or doll. Because you're the leftovers, doll. I'm like, oh, I felt that anger that Athena has when Christian does it. Ugh. It was giving Black Christian, right? But then I live for it because it wasn't me. But I've been there where I'm Athena and I want to gay bash him in a way that I would use many funny references, but people would get very mad. Okay?
Yeah. Because I feel like Athena's attitude was shitty, but the point she was making where it's like, well, you guys got to choose. We've had no choice as yet. So maybe that should have some consideration. I was like, yeah, that sort of makes sense. You can't just be like, no, you're the fucking leftover, so you've got nothing to stand on.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no, fuck you.
And so then we come back from the break, and then they're still going at it. And then Discord was like, let's just do the fucking punk song. I got punk, I'm punk, whatever.
She could not wait.
Oh, she was so
to try
excited. So
and
finally,
push
Vida's
that.
like, sure, all right. And then, so Athena gets her disco song. Team Vida gets the punk song. But what's funny is, even though Athena won that disco song, they break into their little groups among the workroom. Athena is so dissociated. Like, everybody's working. She is still so in her fucking feelings. And I think this is why they lose. Because I do think Athena, had she been present, could have made it happen.
You reckon?
Could have made it happen. You know? Maybe not that they win, but that they're not. I don't know. The pop one was not bad either. But anyway, they I don't know what they could have done, right? And
Yeah.
because she doesn't have some weak ass people with her, but she should have been. She was too in her feeling, and it was very, very present that she was not there, right? Let's go over to Team Punk. Now they break up into different groups. Team Punk is doing their thing, trying to write their lyrics. Did you have any thoughts on that segment in particular?
Well, it's just, by the way, I felt like the punk song was better. Like, I just don't know why they all listened to it first and then they're fighting for disco and no one wanted punk. And it's like, I don't know. I felt like you can get away with not singing. If you're not a singer, you can scream through a punk.
It lends itself to sing talking.
And I was like, have these guys seen the fucking show before?
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Anyway. And I also think whenever you're the team that fights the most for something, you're gonna be in the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, it never pays off.
Yeah.
When you fight too hard. Anyway. The punk thing. I was just impressed with Jane. It really seemed like she was carrying the team with like helping them all out. Like, she just seemed really capable and competent.
Okay, so this is the strongest segment of this whole workroom thing because there's a lot of stupid ass fucking and to use. That's not malicious gay faggotry, but there is some gay faggotry here going on. One, as soon as they break up, Vida says, guys, I always wanted punk. I never wanted this guy. I was just doing it to get under Athena's skin. And I was like, that is the biggest piece of bullshit. That is the way she's coping with the fact that she gave in and she lost. That is such pageant
you were
girl
already
behavior.
under Athena's skin.
Yes.
You didn't need to do that.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Then they have a confessional with this Jane Don't. And she's like, I'm good with punk because I used to like manage punk bands or something. And she goes, and I was an intern at a record label. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
I know.
Right? But as we saw, she wins and she does a good job. But my favorite, it might be, we're going to be talking a lot about Discord Adams today.
Oh, yeah.
Because she says some stupid ass shit.
Yeah.
And then there are receipts that prove her stupid ass shit doesn't make any sense. So in everyone listening, earlier when they were fighting about the disco song or whatever, she's trying to get punk. She's the only one that wants punk. And she's like, guys, let's do punk. I'm in a punk band. I write punk lyrics, even for like other bands. I write punk lyrics for them. And you're like, so I can help you guys. I'm like, all right, whatever. Then they go to the table to write lyrics. And then she comes to this Jane Doe. And she's like, help me write my lyrics.
It's crazy.
She's the one that writes punk lyrics. And she goes to Jane Doe and she's like, help me write my lyrics.
It's crazy. Yeah. And I've always assumed that queens these days, they're going into Drag Race, you know, with their look sorted, with a couple of bars sorted, with some pre-written lyrics that they just sort of adapt. Yeah. With this one, it's harder, like if it doesn't lend itself to punk, but you'd think Discord would already have something lined up that's punkish that she could just use. And so she does seem to be all talk.
Yeah. Those were the only notes I had. Do you have any other notes on this, like just brainstorming lyric session?
just that Nini was starting to soft launch her sore voice from the screaming challenge. And it read to me like it was a bit of an insecurity, like maybe singing's not her strong suit. And she was already trying to like line up an excuse because she wasn't feeling confident.
Isn't that her thing, that singing is her strong suit, and that's why she was so disappointed in herself?
I can't remember. Is it? She was the engineer.
Yeah, I know she is.
But is she a singer?
I could be wrong. I thought she said that. That's why she was like, I can sing, but it's just my voice.
I'm not sure.
Meanwhile, her voice was fine in Untucked and everything like that.
Yeah, which is why I was thinking, like, was this like a weekend break?
Was her voice
did she have a few
fine
days
before
to
the
heal?
challenge?
Well, on runway day, it seemed fine. It was only bad at recording.
No, I'm not talking about after the elimination. On that.
It was fine. It was fine.
And the next...
all last week, it was fine.
Okay, well, that's weird. All right, let's. Do you have any other notes?
No.
All right. Let's move on. Later on the main stage, the girls get to work on their choreography. Mia Starr uses her years of experience to teach her moves to Team Pop. Juicy shows her moves to Team Punk. Meanwhile, Athena and Didi butt heads over the choreo for Team Disco. Later, the girls meet with Michelle Visage to record their tracks. Some girls succeed and some girls struggle. For instance, Nini breaks down in tears after her raspy lost voice prevents her from performing her potential. Meanwhile, Jane Don't impresses Michelle with her lyrics. All right, let's stop right there. Any big thoughts on the choreo session? Let's stop right there. Let's talk about the choreo session.
Just that I was impressed with Mia for actually having like prepared something and having like a book like to actually guide the rehearsal. I thought she did a great job. Mm-hmm. And then Juicy I also thought did all right, and the leftovers were a mess. I was mostly just impressed with Mia.
Yeah. Mia was the most professional. In fact, I will say, like, look, Mia, they did a fine job, but I like when Juicy goes in there and I don't know why I have this quote. Can dance like nobody. Oh, it's just like, oh, well, I can dance like nobody else. But just because Juicy can dance like nobody else, and we'll see this time and time again, doesn't mean you're a good choreographer. And good. I've never seen Juicy's dancing for real, but the good examples of this are people like Kennedy Davenport or these people who sort of like freestyle dance. They're not really doing choreographed dances. Now, maybe this Juicy Love Dion is. I don't know. But just because you can dance well does not mean you're a good choreographer. I think there's two different skill sets. Over on Team Disco, I think this Athena is sort of proving here why she may not have been chosen. She's, I don't know why, taking charge, right? And she's butting heads with Didi over how it's to be done. But then on the other hand, who else is going to do it? Mandy Mango?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. You would think Athena would be the default sort of choreographer there.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean she's even like, I'm trying to remember what I've done with other girl groups. So they're kind of at a disadvantage.
Well, that's the thing. They all must have a repertoire of shitty dance numbers that they've done in clubs for years and years and years with like 3 other girls.
Yeah.
Just pull out those same tricks. No, we're not asking you to actually like choreograph a fucking like lemonade or anything. Like, just
yes, but I think that's Didi's problem. I think that's what she says her problem is that's just the same old, drag moves, step and touch moves. But whatever. I don't think that's ultimately what did them in. All right, let's go to that recording session. I know you're going to disagree with me on this. But I do like when Michelle does this because this is very much her lane. You are right, though, in that it didn't seem like she was helping very much because I think they were trying to set them up for failure rather than for success. Team Disco, any thoughts on them or any other?
No, I didn't really have individual thoughts on the teams throughout this. Just I was mainly focused on how much I was over Michelle doing this.
Yeah, I mean, look, I will say with Team Disco, as you'll hear when we talk about the main challenge, I noted it even when they were recording that they were just sing-talking. They were doing that
the
like
rhythm
rap thing.
Was all wrong.
Well, they were doing that thing that they always do, like you saw in the talent shows, like, my name's Joe Batanz, and I'm here to say, if you want to be at me, you got to be gay. Like that whole thing. And all the topics were the same thing. They were those like, there's basically when drag, well, we'll talk about it when we get to the main challenge. And then, look, I have to say it. And I want, I pride myself on
calling balls and strikes.
But I will also admit when I have my weak spots. You know, like the Death Star had that little hole that Luke Skywalker had. That's a tiny little hole. Mine is a twink crying.
Yeah.
So Nini's crying because of her voice. I'm like, somebody save Nini.
Get her tea.
Get her some tea. Let her rest. Stupid drag race. But those are the only thoughts that I really had. There really wasn't much to it. All right, it's elimination day, and the girls get ready for the runway. Dee shares her struggles as a rich white passing girl in the Beverly Hills of Mexico, and the pressures of life with a welcoming and supportive family. Meanwhile, Discord thinks drag has become too Disney and wants to rage against the machine with her drag. Finally, Athena isn't upset she wasn't chosen. She really isn't. She doesn't know why everyone keeps talking about it because she really isn't upset. Elimination day. Let's talk here.
Okay, this Discord.
Yeah.
She wants drag to be political and punk. She wants to preach to the world through music to wake people up, to call out injustices so that people don't use music as an escape. And then her lyrics are...
I wrote them down too. Did you write them down?
Yeah.
I wrote them down.
I wrote down that last bit. Discord in the air got you feeling the heat. Shredding on guitar because this chord is major. Hanging with my girls. It's going to be a rager.
And the first part is chaos is sexy. Chaos is fun. I'll be your problem if you ain't got one. Chaos is wild. Chaos is sweet. And that's where you get in. Discord in the air got you feeling the heat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just so political, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where does she get off preaching like that? That her lyrics are going to change the world, and then that's what she turned out.
And she had Jane help her.
It's so funny.
I also love that she goes, drag has gotten too Disney-fied. Bitch, you're on the show that made it Disney-fied. That's like going like,
right.
This is too Disney-fied. I'm on the Disney Channel. She makes the little like Mickey Mouse ears or whatever. She draws them with the wand. Bitch, you were on the show that Disney-fied drag. How are you saying it's gotten too Disney-fied? You're on the show.
Yeah, I mean, she could have made a point for trans rights. She could have said fuck Trump. She could have done anything to make it political, but she didn't.
No.
She didn't.
She did not. Those were her lyrics.
That was crazy. And then, you touched on it, but DD's mirror moment was such a waste because she really had nothing else to say.
Again, like I said, I watched it a second time and you realize, whenever the person goes home, there's often the case that they'll let them have their trauma moment at the mirror on the episode that they go home. But all she talked about how that she comes from the Beverly Hills of Mexico. And it's like a small town, and everybody in her family was very welcoming and supportive.
I think that's really sealed the deal that she was going. The producers on the other side of the mirror were like, well, fuck her. She's done.
If that's what she's got. Yeah.
Yeah, she's done.
Anyway, all right. Now let's move on to the Maxi Challenge presentation. This was the girl groups. Let's start with Team Disco. Did you have any big thoughts on Team Disco? I mean, they were the one that landed up being in the bottom, everybody.
And I think that was correct.
It was the correct choice. I mean, the choreography was a mess. The song, the lyrics were a mess. The way that they were just like talking a disco song. Like, guys, if you didn't watch it, they're essentially rapping,
Yes. And once Laurie pointed out that Darlene was in the silver and everyone else was sort of in gold, like it really stood out to me when I watched it again. I was like, Laurie, you clocked that.
Yeah.
I thought the patter was really bad. I thought Darlene probably stood out the most just because she tried to do something different with that Sylvester note. If it wasn't for that Sylvester note, like this would have just been like completely awful. Yeah. And so I actually feel like the bottoms are Athena and Mango. For some reason,
Really?
I just thought Athena's vocal patter was far and away the worst out of the lot.
Interesting.
And the others, like, I feel also danced a bit better than her as well.
I don't remember Athena's look. Could it be Athena's look saved her? Oh yeah, she got big praise.
Her look was much better.
She got big praise on the runway.
But I also see them maybe just not wanting her in the bottom two yet. But for the lyrics, like, and her lyrics were so forgettable. Like, she did not stand out at all. Well, she stood out for the wrong reasons, basically. So yeah, this was the worst group.
Yeah. Team Pop, any big thoughts?
Mia was the best of the group for sure.
Yeah.
I thought their choreo really worked well. The dancing probably was the best of the three. But again, the songs, the lyrics themselves weren't outstanding.
Yeah, they weren't, they were doing, Teen Pop was doing this thing, which there's one thing I hate more than the like, I'm a bitch, don't mess with me, right? Their lyrics, there's another genre of drag queen lyrics, which is giving advice, right? Don't let a man define who you are. Kick him to the curb and watch him go far. You're a queen and you ought to be. And it's always giving advice, right? Like, this is why you have to be, right? Like, bitch.
Yeah.
No, right? But they at least sang. They had melodies, which is weird because and the pop one specifically, they would do half sing talk, but then the end they would sing. But what was really weird was, first of all, Kenya look, just like I said, if you were done with the whole we're done with the let's see how this turns out, right? Kenya did the fat girl high kick. Okay. The Eureka fat girl high kick. Okay, we're done. There's a lot in Kenya's number. 1, 2, she is even in her bio, she's a singer. 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 There were so many parts for her to sing in this part, and she just talks them, which I thought was really weird.
And don't you think that's where maybe the coaching could have come into it?
Yes, and then finally,
well, actually, Kenya got coached the most out of anyone from Michelle.
Because she was trying to get it on. She's a singer; she couldn't get it on the beat.
Yeah.
And then finally, and I hate to do this, but I don't even know what she's talking about. But she says she's the epitome of.
I know.
And for everyone listening, she means epitome. But epitome is spelled EPITOME. So she's clearly read the word and knows what the word means.
I know.
But she thinks it's pronounced epitome.
You can't knock the poor girl for that too much. Like,
I'm knocking the editors for putting. They didn't have to put it in. They knew what
they didn't have. They did her so
what
fucking
they were
dirty.
doing by epitome.
Yeah, I mean, I say shit wrong all the time. Like when you're on a hot mic, sometimes you say shit wrong. Sometimes you don't know how things are pronounced.
Why didn't a producer say, "What did you say?" And he goes, "Oh, you mean epitome?
Take it back."
Yeah. Why don't you say it again? Say epitome. But I heard it and I was like, "Oh, they did her dirty."
Yeah, they did her so dirty.
Yeah.
But it's endearing in a way.
I guess. All right. Finally, Team Punk.
Yeah, this was the best one. And I kind of liked that a lot of, well, not everyone, like not Discord, but a lot of the lyrics were just about like, yeah, we like sucking cock, we like having sex. And I was like, that's kind of fun instead of like the motivational lyrics like you were talking about. So I thought Briar was actually really great. I loved the choreo there where she did like the Eiffel Tower, like sex position. Yeah. I thought, funny lyrics, good movement. And I thought Jane was also the standout. She had really good dynamics in her vocals in that she wasn't just like one note. She was up, she was down, she was gravelly, she was clear. And I just thought that really had a good impact on the song itself because it made it interesting to listen to. So and Juicy danced great as well. So yeah, best team.
Just to correct myself, I guess Kenya said the epitome line or epitome line in the runway, not in the performance. But on Team Punk, Discord, again, this is going back to her bona fides here. She says she's a punk girl. Her outfit wasn't giving punk.
No.
Nor was her hair. It was giving Lita Ford, who is a famous 80s hair metal rocker chick. It wasn't giving punk. It was very, very strange. Then Vida was great, you know. And with Jane, just to kind of put a pin on what you were saying is, Jane's lyrics are funny, and they were almost punk rock because Jane, in her lyrics, was kind of making fun of punk rock lyrics in terms of being like, oh, we're trying to be tough, but I'm really not tough. I'm really actually kind of a sissy, you know? I think that made it even funnier. All right. Any other thoughts on the main Maxi challenge?
Stream the songs on Spotify.
Now the runway, this show isn't really about a show because we didn't hire Mr. Blackstone this season. But there were any big looks you wanted to talk about or anything?
Well, yeah, I mean, I already mentioned I really liked the runway. A few that I really liked were Jane's. I liked Mia's. I didn't care that her face was covered up because it was clearly just to show the neck, the pussy, the crack, the back. Like, I was fine with that. I also thought Mikey Meeks's dumb billboard with the legs was quite fun. Like, it was such a basic look underneath the billboard, but it was so silly that I enjoyed it. And Nini's look made me roll my eyes because she was like, my favorite body part is my brain. And I was kind of like, oh, go fuck yourself. But then the look actually was really good. Some of the misses, I didn't like Trash's sunburn look.
I didn't like it at all. Didn't like it at all.
No, I thought it was terrible. And
when he says
Mango's
trash, by the way, he means Darlene Mitchell. Yeah.
But she was trash in that look, though. That wasn't Darlene. That was trash.
Well, she acknowledges it harkens back to her trash days.
Yeah. And Mango's table, like, it was camp. It was different.
It was
like, I appreciate
it was giving
that.
Joella's mattress.
It was fucking funny.
Yeah.
It was funny how terrible it was. And then Discord's walk is becoming so enjoyable to watch.
So awful. And what's funny is to make and I appreciate this, to make it more awkward. Maybe a lot of people don't know this. So when they do Drag Race, when they do the runway, they do 2 walks. Okay.
Yeah.
They do one to the music, and that's the first one. The first one is they play the music loud over the loudspeakers, and they walk the runway, and then the judges just watch and maybe write their jokes if they have any jokes or whatever, make notes or whatever. Then they do the runway again. They do it twice, but this time there's no music. It's silent, and that's when the judges make their comments, right? So they played the walk with the no music, so it's just quiet as she's walking.
And it's not just quiet, it's like you hear the footsteps like clunk, clunk. Like they amplified that.
They did some definite like
but it's also like it's not just the sound and the visual, it's just the fact that she thinks she's eating.
She does.
Like her smirk, she's like, oh God, I'm killing it with this walk. I'm stomping down the runway. And it's just really giving me a lot of pleasure. And I look forward to next week seeing her walk down the runway.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
Nah.
All right. Over on the main stage, Team Disco, composed of Athena Love Dion, Didi Fuego, Darlene Mitchell, and Mandy Mango, are in the bottom. Meanwhile, Jane Don't and Mia Starr were named the top 2 queens of the week. Later, Jane Don't was named the winner of the challenge, while Didi Fuego and Mandy Mango were placed in the bottom 2, forcing them to face off in a lip sync battle for their lives. The song, Too Much by Dove Cameron. In the end, Mandy Mango was told, Shantae, you stay, while Didi Fuego was asked to sashay away. Now, Nathan, here's the big question. Did the right queen win the episode? Were the right 2 queens in the bottom? And did the right queen get the chop? Let's start with that first question. Did the right queen win the episode?
It was Jane, wasn't it? Yeah, you know what? I thought Jane deserved it. I would have been fine if... she deserved it over Mia. I still think it was a really good episode for Mia. I was happy that she was at least in the top and got some flowers. And I do think if it was a top 3, maybe Briar could have been up there because I really did like her this week. But yeah, I'm happy for Jane. It's good that she's got a win under her belt. She might become a little bit more cuntier in the workroom.
Yeah. Oh,
which
because
will be nice
she's
to
won.
See.
Yeah, I could see
now
that.
That she's got a chip on her shoulder. It could
not
be good.
chip on her shoulder. She has a win under her belt. Yeah. Okay, were the right 2 queens in the bottom? Well, you kind of think it should be Athena, right?
No, I thought Athena should have been in there. But I understand from production standpoint, they didn't want to risk that. Because if they put Mandy and Athena in the bottom, let's say, and Mandy turned it out like she did, would Athena have gone? I think Athena would have beat her. But you know what I mean? It was risky. So, at this stage, I'm not that bothered by the bottom 2 placements so early in the competition.
And did the right queen get the chop?
Yes. I thought Mango really was the correct winner of that lip sync. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the smoothest lip sync, like taking the table off, and some of the dips probably weren't necessary. But what she did do, I thought, was really entertaining, high energy. I was impressed by Mango. Whereas Didi sort of just stood there, and she didn't she didn't really do anything with that big loofah that she had on her.
Why did she never? Why she never took it off? Why?
I think she didn't because underneath it, it's just like a leotard. I don't think she had anything going on under it. But it would have been nice to see something extra with it, jump rope with it or something. But she was just there.
But do some. Maybe she had no moves, and so that she would realize it would expose her because she'd take that wrap off, and then she has a leotard, but she's not doing anything.
It's just like, how can Mandy get a whole table off?
Yeah, because she's 37.
You can't even get your loofah off.
She'd break her hip if she like did it. But here's the deal. I will say this again, going back to things we don't ever need to see again. Maybe once in a while we can do a death drop. I think I've seen Mandy Mango do about 5 death drops already.
It was 3 too many at least.
And then she did one in the performance.
Yeah.
She did like...
The one would have been enough.
Yeah, one and would have been enough. We saw 1 million death drops. Guys, we're done with death drops. Unless you're doing something new with it.
There was... When she did like her third one and it was like not on the beat at all.
Yeah.
Rue sort of turns to Michelle and laughs. Do you think they were laughing at her or with her in at that moment?
I don't know. Because they could have cut that in from anywhere.
Oh, yeah, true. But like, I just wonder if... Like, Rue loves it. Rue loves the fucking shablam.
Yeah.
But when it's like a poorly done shablam, I wonder if Rue... Yeah, if Rue hates that.
Here's the deal. This was Mandy's one lip sync. It was okay. But I think we've seen all of Mandy's moves. If she has to lip sync for her life again, I'm going to tell you it's going to look just like this one. And it's gonna be pathetic. It's gonna be like this stupid what's her name? Queen Kong with the fucking barrel roll. Where she's barrel rolling all over the place.
Mama, people love my barrel rolls.
Any other final thoughts on the episode?
Yeah, I just think Rue's memory is so terrible that when he was talking to Darlene Mitchell and Rue was like, that's the stupidest name I've ever heard. I was just thinking, like, really? You've had Calorie Kardashian and like Theresa May like in front of you and Darlene is the stupidest name you've ever heard?
Yeah.
Like, come on, Rue.
I do like that when she was talking to Darlene Mitchell, she goes, you look really joyful. Were you feeling in the joy? And Darlene's answer has nothing to do with what RuPaul just said. She starts talking about this and that and the sad life. And I'm like, she said, were you feeling the joy? And you went to like, I live in a van down by the river. I don't remember what her sad story. She tells a sob story about something. I don't remember what it was.
Well, it was about sobriety and like now that she gave up the club scene, but now she's dancing. She feels, I don't fucking know. But it took a long way genuine though. It didn't feel like a ploy for like save me from the bottom.
Really?
Like it kind of felt genuine.
But not to me. And then again, I love seeing weird ass cuts where there's a part where they're talking. I think they're talking to Mikey Meeks. It could be Briar Blush. I can't remember who in confessional, right when they're setting up the lip sync's happening or it's about to happen. And I can't remember if it's Mikey or Briar. One of them says, on the one hand, you have, this person in a rap. And on the other hand, and then it cuts to Jane Don't saying a literal table. Like it's not the same person.
It was 2 different people.
It was 2 different people. But they try to make it seem like it was one person.
Yeah, that was sloppy.
It was really sloppy and not really good. All right. Any other final thoughts, Nathan?
Nope.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Be sure to join us next week and every week as we continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct each brand new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18. So for Nathan Patrick Brown and myself,
I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Death drop.
Thank you for listening to RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Have something to say? Email us at dragracerecap@afterthought.media. You can also leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/afterthoughtmedia. For more Drag Race and LGBTQ content, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia or on the app. Very special thanks to these expensive tier Patreon supporters: Polly Ann Marie, Ram Crackers, Mike Yeager, Efren Barboza, Philskit Pony, Scott Dreyer, Travis Newland, Tom Bombs, Mary Shine, Lucy Carrasco, Astute Girl, Dave, Runner Brandon, Humble Pie, E. Smith, JTP, Nikki Pettit, Doofus Maximus, Kathy Zender, Nikki Baker, Peter Teef, Derek Byers, Coco San Pedro, Poppy Woods, Lauren Eckert, Brad Coley, Katie Whitmire, AJ Norris, and Sarah Yu. Drag Race Recap is an Afterthought Media podcast.
This podcast is supported by MIDI Health. Are you in midlife, feeling dismissed, unheard, or just plain tired of the old healthcare system? You're not alone. In fact, even today, 75% of women seeking care for menopause and perimenopause issues are left entirely untreated. But it's time for a change. It's time for MIDI. MIDI's not just a healthcare provider. It's a women's telehealth clinic founded and supported by world-class leaders in women's health. Their clinicians provide one-on-one, face-to-face consultations where they truly listen to your unique needs. They offer a full range of holistic, data-driven solutions that isn't one-size-fits-all care. This is care uniquely tailored for you. At MIDI, you will find that their mission is clear: to help all women thrive in midlife, giving them access to the healthcare they deserve. Because they believe midlife isn't the middle at all. It is the beginning of your second act. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized, insurance-covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. MIDI, the care women deserve.